that your nervous system is getting your body to breathe out. That's going to tell us quite a bit about ourselves, okay? And it's just nice to sit and carry on breathing for a few seconds, because I'll shut up, maybe not. Okay, that makes sense? Okay, so just letting it happen, be the observer. In 3, 2, 1, go. So in and out is 1. Let the breath happen. Don't control it. And also just notice with your hands giving you some feedback. Where's the movement coming from? Higher or lower? And what's the size of that breath feel like with your hands? How big does it feel? And stop. Okay? You got a number? Multiply it by 2. If you're not good at maths, double it for your respiratory rate for a minute. Yeah, so you got the number, you've multiplied it by 2. Now, it might be, for some people it could be 8 would be relatively low, so 4 in 30 seconds, 8 for a minute. Or we'll get, depending on how stressed the body might be under, we could be breathing at 20 or more breaths per minute. And everyone in the room now will be probably somewhere in between those numbers, yeah? Or there or thereabouts. But it's quite a wide range. In terms of effect on the nervous system Catherine was talking about, it makes sense that if I'm breathing quite fast, my nervous system is working quite hard. That makes sense? Someone that's breathing quite fast, what's their heart rate going to be like? It's going to be, the heart rate and breathing are linked together. So your heart rate will be beating faster. The whole system's just literally working harder to just keep you alive. So one of the things that we'll do by the end of the session is understand how to breathe more efficiently in terms of the mechanics, as well as the speed, as well as the size of the breath, to allow my whole body, system-wise, to just come down a couple of notches. Owen mentioned in the intro about if your stress bucket's full, you might not want to add extra stress to the cold in on that particular day. Your stress bucket, the thing at the very bottom of your stress bucket has got to be your nervous system and your breathing. Because if you're not breathing, you're not alive. So before you get out of bed and do anything in life and get stressed by anything, your breathing is there as a fundamental. Be more efficient at breathing. The level of work your body has to do, and just work is stress, like exercise is stress. When you're making the body work, it just doesn't mean that it's necessarily, stress doesn't have to be bad. But you're potentially, if you're being inefficient with your breathing, making the body do a lot more of this just like base level of like effort just to be here and be alive. And if, you know, the world, the crazy world that we live in, like it's not that easy sometimes just to be alive. And that's when you're thinking about all the extra stuff. Does that make sense? Efficient at breathing then, what does that look like, or where does that come to? There's 2 things, and we measured one of them. There's 2 things with your breathing. There's the speed of your breath, which you just counted. If you're breathing faster than you may need to, then that's you being inefficient with your breathing. And the speed of the breath is often a sign of like how stressed the system is under, and often like the pace of life that you're living at. If you've got a fast breathing cycle, a fast heart rate, probably have a racing mind as well, and find it difficult to shut off. Why? In terms of physiology, what Catherine was saying about the nervous system, you're upregulated. It's difficult. The different parts of the brain are either shut down or alive or awake. The other side of it from a breathing speed is then the size of each of those breaths. So the question about being able to take a bigger breath, the reality is for most of us, for most of the time, we want to be able to actually, being efficient would be not breathing as fast and actually not needing to take a bigger breath. Because if you need to take a big breath, that would suggest that you need way more oxygen potentially. Okay? And if I use my little, anyone see